Hey, Darko. The start of a new season is always exciting, but is there anything about this season, your third year, that you're looking forward to more than you would any other year?
Well, if you look in my 2 years here with the team, first year was all over the place, looking for direction, then deciding and starting to go into rebuild. That was quite a bit to deal with all of that, obviously. We were having a change in the ownership, change in the leadership, a lot of changes everywhere. What I'm really looking forward is consistency and continuity. I'm really excited about the group that we have this season. It's going to be really exciting to see how those guys develop and gel together and where we can go as a team. But all the signs that I'm getting from the players and being around them during the summer, very, very positive feedback I'm getting from everybody.
Thanks. We'll go to Josh Lewinberg, down to your left, Coach, and then to Doug Smith after.
Hey, Darko.
Hey.
Good to see you. I would imagine you guys are going to continue to prioritize growth and development at a high level, but with expectations going up this year, adding Brandon, trying to take the next step as a team, how does your job change as a coach, or does it?
Well, it does not change at all because my focus is on winning and developing at the same time. I'm really blessed and grateful to have a group of guys like we have in this organization now. They're just hungry. Guys are really excited to be around each other. They're hungry to go out there and compete. We're setting the highest standards possible for us to operate every single day. So day to day, nothing is going to change in my approach. I'm going to try to build my players. I'm going to try to build our team. I'm going to try to build our community. And all of us together, we can make a difference and have a great season.
So Doug and then Samson.
Darko, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Doug. Is that espresso, Doug?
No, not yet. No,
Not yet. I got you covered.
Attaboy. Thank you, I appreciate that. When you look at the skill sets of your players, RJ, Scottie, Brandon particularly, you see some duplication there. How can you work around their individual skills to make them into one cohesive group?
Great question, Doug. I've been thinking about that a lot. Intentionally during the whole month of September when our guys were in open gym, we were putting our projected starting five to play together as much as possible, to start, exposing those things for them to get to know each other and their strengths. And I've been really impressed with the ability of those guys kind of like to understand who is hot at the moment and who to force feed. Everything goes back to the standard of play that we want to have. And for us, everything starts on defensive end. We want to dominate on defensive end. We want to be disruptive on defensive end. We want to be able to create a lot of steals and a lot of opportunities for us to run in transition. And when we do that, then it's going to be much easier for us to score. It's going to be much easier to get in offense. And then for players, they just need to embrace all the skill set that their teammates have. And we have quite a bit of talent on this team. And I think those guys accepting that is the first step for us.
Hey, Darko. Just over here, Samson. Hope you enjoyed your summer. First of all, when you inherited this team, you had three really big forwards, OG, Pascal, and Scottie. And obviously that team didn't stay together, but with Colin, with Scottie, and with Brandon, have you learned anything from the past? And how are you excited to implement three, big forwards going forward this season?
Yes, for sure. I think one thing that is going to really help us this year is going to be having Sandro on the team. He's going to be playing backup five for us, but also he's a player who can stretch the floor. So it's really going to allow us, especially with the second unit, to go to different schemes, to look for different guys in pick and rolls and DHOs, to use him spacing the floor, to use him to pick and pop. So I think that's going to be a big difference for us this year, having that type of player that can really help us to connect that group.
So we'll go Eric, Ryan, and then Ez.
Hey, Darko. Happy New Year. We talked when the trade for Brandon happened a lot about how he might fit into the player movement and the ball movement that you guys have been preaching since you got here. At the same time, he is, one of the premier one-on-one shot makers in the league when he's going well. How do you see that skill meshing with the way that you've played in the past?
Well, first of all, I want Brendan to be himself, to feel comfortable in his own skill. He's 27 years old, and he's now entering his prime. I also expect him to take his game to another level. You know, game is changing. Game is becoming more open court and more running and more transition, and he will have to grow in that aspect as well. Obviously, he's a lead scorer. We're going to put him in situations where he can not just score but play make. I think that's one area of his game that's a lot of times it's been overlooked is his willingness to pass the ball and to make the right play. And with his size and his scoring ability, he's going to be attracting a lot of attention to him. And I believe that he's going to be really good of finding his teammates and making the right play. So we need to play to standard of a team, how we want to share the ball, how we want to play, how we want to be efficient, and to get very efficient shots for us on the floor. So I think he's going to fit in really well with our team.
Thanks. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Darko. I have a question about like the rotation. Bobby was talking the other day about how the league is kind of going to like deeper teams, that sort of thing. Do you see things changing? Like you could play a deeper rotation? Do you have like a set number of guys you think every night you might want to get in?
Well, I believe that this year we do have a deeper roster, and we have more guys that can contribute night in and night out, and that's a dream for every coach. You know, it's not going to be easy to make those decisions night in and night out, but that's the problem I'm looking forward to have, to decide who are the guys going to be out there, who's going to be competing, and that's going to, I think, it's going to really help competition inside the team, that guys got to stay constantly on and constantly like pushing each other to play better. And I think it's really going to help us. I like to play 10 guys and even 11 guys in rotation. Everybody, they need to be ready at any point of time. As I said, we have a deep roster, and I think all of those guys at some point of a season, they're going to be huge for us to help the team.
As will Joseph.
Hey, Darko.
Hey.
Welcome back. You just mentioned earlier that defense is going to be the calling card for this team, and that's where it starts. But when you're looking at the depth of this rotation and what you expect from them, how much does the defensive side of the ball dictate how deep you're willing to go and certain players and combinations you're willing to choose?
And when we talk about defense, I really believe that standard for us, everything starts with Scottie Barnes. He's one of the most elite defensive players in this league. He's one of the guys that plays for the team and trying to win every single possession. So our identity starts with him. And then we have a lot of guys that are very willing defensive players, and we're keeping the standard so high that everybody else is rising to the task. So to be honest with you, I don't see a weak link for us defensively this year, and I'm not going to look at any player on this team and to give him a free pass because defense is not at the level that we expect. So I'm going to keep everybody accountable to the high standards on defensive end.
Coach, you had your players together a lot over the summer, you know, working in Spain, working in LA, working earlier here in Toronto. Who were some of the players that really impressed you in that sort of summer period where you saw like a tangible year-over-year improvement?
Well, yes, our guys did spend quite a bit of time with each other during the summer. That shows their commitment to each other. That shows the commitment to this franchise. It's interesting thing. I'm going to start with September. I'm going to start with the end, open gym. And talking to Garrett Temple, I asked him, how are the guys doing? How's everybody doing? He says, Coach, this is unbelievable. Every team, like if guys come in town, they're just looking for a weekend to get out. Over here, everybody's staying in Toronto. So that tells a lot how much they feel comfortable over here, how much they love the city. And I really talk to all the players that they need to get to know this city, to understand how big it is to wear the jersey of Toronto Raptors. I'll go back to your question. We did spend quite a bit of time around each other this summer. I'm really impressed how hard our guys worked, how they competed on a really, really high level. Anytime they were in open gym and playing, and their commitment. You know, Jamal said he hosted teammates, 11, 12 guys in Austin. We had players working out together in Miami. Quickley and Scottie and RJ organized there. We had Brandon Ingram inviting young guys to Newport Beach to work out with him. That shows just how much those guys want to do well for themselves and for this team. And I cannot point out one player because I'm seeing the growth in every single person on this roster. So that's what really excites me. What I'm seeing day in and day out, it's what really excites me about this upcoming season.
So we're going to go Joseph, John, Chelsea.
Hey, Darko. Over here. Last year, Grady had somewhat of an up-and-down sophomore season where he had a really fascinating start, and then it kind of tailed off a bit, or his numbers suffered as the season went on. Have you seen anything from him this offseason or the work he's put into his body that makes you think he's at a point now where he's ready to sustain, not necessarily the heater he was on early last season, but some level of consistency over an 82-game season?
Right. Year two in NBA is always for guys. It's a tricky one. You know, you play year one, especially if you get minutes and you play, and you start thinking like, oh, I kind of like figured this out. And then year two comes and you see all the ups and downs. I think that the last season was unbelievable for Grady to learn from those really high points of the year, and also to understand what he needs to do day in and day out when things are not going his way, and how he can affect the game with defensive stop or right rotation on the defensive end, or grabbing a rebound, or getting a steal, or just making a right decision with the right pass. So he started off season being injured, and it took some time for him to completely be cleared and get back to work. I'm impressed how much he worked on his body. He added the strength. You know, I know him from year one when he was rookie over here, and he looked like a baby on a court. He's now looking, he has completely different outlook out there on the court, much stronger, much more explosive. He knows what he's doing. And this year is going to be an unbelievable year for him to really focus on efficiency, how to be more efficient, how to find his spots on the court. And he did an outstanding job. He's in really good spot heading into the year.
So John, then Chelsea, then Vivek.
Good to see you again. Welcome
Good to
back.
see you too.
I know that you like to focus on process, but what are your expectations for the season, or do you have expectations?
Well, my expectations are for our team to improve 1%, to be better every single day, every single week. My expectation from this team is to be better with every month. You know, some of the best basketball we played last season was towards the end of the season. That is my expectation from this group, to work really hard, to stay together through ups and downs, and to be really focused on winning every single day and winning every possession. You know, we're entering this season, and big slogan for me is going to be win for all. You know, not just to win games, but to win for the community, to win for this country, to win for each other, to win for men next to you. I think it's going to be very important for us to continue having that unity that I think is blueprint for this team, and that we got to continue building on that. I expect us to be competitive in 82 games and to go out there to try to win every single game. I have high ambitions. I'm not lacking that at all. I'm not shying away from that. So I'm ready for the task. I'm ready to go out there and compete.
So Chelsea, then Vivek, then Lindsay.
Hey, Coach. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, too.
I'm curious. Sorry, this is loud. I'm curious how you approach the off-season from a personal level and just kind of navigate not only just resetting for the next season, but also what you do on a personal level to challenge yourself to do better for the next season. Obviously, now we're a few seasons in. We know that you're, a very, you hold yourself to a high standard, of course. And so I'm curious what the things that you do in the off-season that you don't necessarily have time to do in the season to kind of level up and goal set maybe for the next season.
For sure. This off-season, I had 2 summers to learn on and to improve and to see what's working, what's not working for me. This summer, myself and the coaching staff, we were able to be really organized and to the point to do a lot of projects early in the summer. So we did not feel any crunch going into our coaches retreat in August. And it was just like fine tuning during the August and preparing for the season. So it really helped me that last 2 weeks of August I was able to spend time with my family and to be in Serbia. And that's always when I'm around my family, that's how I charge my batteries and how I get ready for the season. So that was really, really exciting. And about that time as well, I got confirmation that Bobby Webster is going to be our new head of basketball operations, which really put me in the right place, knowing that we were on the right track and that the team is going to be in the right hands.
So we're going Vivek, Lindsay, and then Eric Smith.
Hey, Darko, over here. Just looking at the defensive numbers in the second half of the season, they were really great and really encouraging signs. You did also play a lot of sub-500 teams, and maybe the rotation then didn't look like what it will look like now. What did you see on the court beyond the numbers that makes you believe that this team can be great defensively?
One of the main goals heading into this summer is to get in elite shape, and talking to players individually as a group, we set up a really good plan for guys to achieve that. In this type of modern basketball, everybody's looking for two-way players. Everybody wants guys that can play on both ends of the floor, and the only way you can do that if you're in elite shape. So that was goal number one for us to improve in that. We did a lot of projects trying to see how we can improve our hand activity, how we can be more aggressive on the ball. Like everything that we're trying to do is we're just trying to speed up teams, and we're really trying to make teams uncomfortable as it's possible. So we did some exciting projects and some adjustments in the individual training that I'm looking forward to implement now in a training camp as well. So I'm hopeful that it's going to really help us and our defense to take another level.
Thanks. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Hey, Darko, over here front row. Nice to see you. When it comes to expectations, and we look at your rookie, specifically Colin, seeing him throughout the summer, how do you think he can have a role on this team, and what areas would you like to see him improve on already?
Well, Colin is a high-level competitor. Colin is somebody who has unbelievable defensive instincts, from positioning, from using his hands, being disruptive. And he is as strong as it gets. For a young player, I did not see such a young player to be so strong. He's not shying away from any contact. He likes to sneak in his nose and to go for every rebound. But also he's a very good passer. He's a very good playmaker, and somebody that I definitely believe that he can help our team. And I'm really excited to see this growth as the season goes on.
So Eric Smith, who's at the back, and to your left, Coach.
Coach, you just touched on this a little bit, I guess, when you mentioned the slogan, the win for all. But when you said earlier about how you felt it was important for your guys to understand what it means to wear this jersey and to represent the city and country, why is that important to you, and what does it mean to you?
Well, I do believe that Toronto is a special city for so many reasons. We're the only team outside of USA playing in NBA. This city and this community loves game of basketball. A couple of nights ago, I was able to go and support a mission in Scarborough, and I had to sit down and be with some kids that are in underprivileged situation, and it is amazing how this new generation of people in Toronto, how much they love game of basketball. Canada Basketball is doing a great job. The basketball is on the rise in this country. I am the leader of this organization, and I feel that that I need to have contribution to the community here, to the city of Toronto, to all the people that are involved in basketball. I feel very comfortable in this city. My son is already identifying himself half Serbian, half Canadian, so it is a special place for me, and I want to make sure that our players have the same feeling when they come over here and play and represent Toronto Raptors.
We're going to stay at the back, and then we're going to come up to Eric.
Hey, talk over here.
Yep.
Obviously, like you mentioned, CMB is already a great, versatile defender that fits with your basketball philosophy. Going into this season, do you see him fitting more with the second unit or some of the starting players?
Well, that's why we have training camp, right? Training camp is going to give us a lot of answers. They're going to be trying different stuff as the preseason goes. We just want to put all of the guys in a situation to be successful, but I also want all the players to earn their minutes and their role on a team. I think that's fair and honest towards all the players on this team. I'm not giving anything to anybody. All of the players, they need to earn it, and everybody's on the track to do that. All the signs that I'm seeing during the summer, everybody's just 100% locked in and working really hard.
So we'll go to John in the front and then to Gilbert.
Right here, Darko. What's it say about Jamal Shed that he's not even in the second year of his NBA career and he's taking on sort of a leadership role and inviting people down to Austin to train together?
Well, Jamal Shed is a great singer. He's the one leading Happy Birthday songs always and always brings a different interpretation. He's outspoken. He is a great leader because he leads by example. And also, he's not afraid to share what he sees with his teammates. And everything that he does, it comes from a place of love and care. So all the players on the team, they recognize that. And he's been a great voice for us, bringing guys to Austin down there to work out and bring them to his home and meet with his family. All of that was just outstanding from a young player to do something like that.
Thanks, and then we'll finish with Gilbert, who's just here left.
Good to see you, Coach. Sandro was having quite a time in Europe playing for Georgia over the summer. I wonder how you intend to use him and Yak, maybe Chomche as well, to improve that center position.
Signing Sandro was very important for us this offseason because we see in him somebody who shares the values of our organization, and we see in him somebody who can really compete on a higher level. I believe that he's going to get the right opportunity, the right chance that kind of like was not consistent with him in his first couple of years in NBA. And I believe that he's ready to make that next jump. Just watching him playing Eurobasket, I think he did a really good job. He played out of his natural position. He played more position 3. But that's the great thing about Sandro. He can play any position 3 to 5, but also can bring the ball up the floor. I think he's going to give us a lot, and he's really excited to be here in Toronto, and I'm sure talking to him, you guys will get a chance to sense that as well.
Hey, Scottie, welcome back. Where do you see this team heading into you're now almost a vet, so where do you see this team compared to other teams you've been part of since you've been with the Raptors?
I would definitely say we have a very talented roster. We have about 13, 14 guys that can step on the floor every single night and make an impact on this team. So we have a very talented roster. Other rosters, we're top 5 heavy, but we have a complete roster right now.
So to Josh and then to John.
Hey, Scottie, welcome back. Darko was just in here and he mentioned that the team kind of made a concerted effort to make sure that the projected starting lineup was working out together and playing together over the last few months. In spending that extra time with Brandon over the offseason, what have you learned about him? And now that you've kind of seen it play out a little bit on the court, how do you see that kind of working out, fitting in together?
I think as we can see and being around him, he's more of a laid-back guy. But, he still has a lot of character to him. But on the floor, he's super skilled. He can make any tough shot that's possible. And he's being more of a willing passer where he's able to drive to the rim or drive to his spots and be able to create for others. Throwing those kick-out passes, he's been pushing the ball, running in transition. So being around him, just being able to see how talented he is, he's phenomenal. He can do so many different things on the floor. His game is just, he's going to help us a lot this year. He's going to demand so much attention.
So John and then Samson.
Hey, Scottie, welcome back. Just to follow on Josh's question about Brandon and the starting 5 practicing together in September, Has there been a moment where you were all in the court and you're like, yeah, this is working, like we've got the chemistry, we've got the flow, and if so, what was that moment like for you?
Of course, we still got a lot of things to continue to work on and continue to grow. But out there, we're moving, we're playing great defense, we're rotating. On the defensive end, you know, we're very active on the ball. Offensive end, we're playing much faster, pushing the pace. It's going to be able to allow everybody to be able to get the ball and be able to, because we have a lot of guys that can score on our team as well, and that's starting five. So being able to play faster, kick aheads, being able to have people create their own driving lanes while the floor is spaced out, you know, it just helps in so many ways. You got to be able to have those driving lanes so we can be able to create, because we all can be able to get to the basket, be able to have shooters everywhere. You know, it just opens up our offense.
So Samson, then Doug, then Joseph.
Hey, Scottie, just over here. So you've been asked to do a lot of different stuff during your career, and you've developed into a very unique player in the NBA. From when you entered the league to now, are you a much different player than what you thought you would be when you were first drafted?
For sure. You know, I think coming out of college, you know, I was more on the defensive side. I was great defensively. Bring intensity. I was good at getting to the basket, playing physical. But I think my game just grown so much. I think my ball handling has got way better. Being able to drive to the basket, be able to finish there, doing different moves, being able to get to the mid-range. I don't think before college I was really pulling up in the mid-range, shooting, turnaround fade. So, you know, and of course my three ball, you know, I wasn't really shooting a lot of threes before in high school and in college. So just being able to grow my game in that area as well. So my game has grown tremendously, and I'm just going to continue to get better each and every single year. That's part of the love, the process, what we do this for. So, you know, my game has changed a lot, and, you know, I just love it.
So go Doug, Joseph, then Will.
Scottie, welcome back. Going into your third season now with Darko, you talked about your own growth as a player and as a person. How have you seen him change in any way, or how has his coaching changed in your 3 years?
I wouldn't say it kind of like changed so much. You know, me and Darko, we're just continually develop a connection each and every single day, keeping me informed, keeping me noticed on what's happening, how he think I can impact the offense, how he thinks our team is going to develop in those type of ways. So I wouldn't say his coaching, you know, changed too much, but I would say, you know, the way our relationship has grown from then, and the way he coaches our team, you know, he motivates us, he pushes us, you know, he has great play calls. So in that aspect, you know, I think he does a great job.
So Joseph, Will, and then Scott.
Hey, Scottie. Your defensive impact last season really took a big leap, and I was wondering what clicked for you on the defensive end last year. Like, was it a scheme change? Was it a decision on your part? Was it just being in the league a few years and kind of understanding things better?
I think with our defensive philosophy, I think we, you know, we're trying to be more on the aggressive side. We're trying to be more active. We're trying to get more steals. You know, put me in those positions where I'm able to get those blocks, be able to guard those top guys. So, you know, I think I've always been great defensively. And, you know, I'm going to continue to show that. I feel like I'm one of the best two-way players in this league, and, you know, that comes with winning as well, you know, so it can get noticed more. But, you know, on that side of the ball, you know, I think I've always been great. But we're just going to continue to grow on that side, get more steals, try to get more blocks, and, you know, continue to get stops on whoever steps out there on the floor.
Hey, Scottie. You were there in summer league. You saw how hard the young guys were competing, and we saw you standing up on the sideline clapping all the time because we know how much you enjoy defense. Do you feel like the starting lineup can replicate that level of intensity that we saw from the young guys in terms of getting after it?
For sure. They set the standard out there in the summer league. What the baseline for our defense is going to show. We got to be more active. We got to be causing havoc out there on the floor each and every single night. That's going to give us our best chance of winning. We have a very talented roster, but, that doesn't go to anything if you don't go out there and work hard and you think anything is given to you. So we're going to go out there and compete every single night. We're trying to be the hardest playing team when we step out there on the floor, and we're going to show that. It's going to be a tough night for anyone who steps out there on the floor with us, and that's what we pride ourselves on.
So Ez, then Scott, Ian, then Eric.
Hey, Scottie. Last year at the end of the season, you said you got a chance to experiment a lot throughout the course of the year. I'm wondering, what did you take away from experimenting and figuring out what you could do, and how are you trying to apply that to this
Repeat that
season?
again?
Last season, at the end of the last season, you said you got a chance to experiment a lot throughout the year and try different things. What do you want to take from last season and experimenting into this season?
Experimenting. Not really much experimenting. I'm trying to go out there and win. It was a different situation last year. I think, as we all seen, but we're gonna go out there and ready to go this year, putting everything on the line.
Thanks. We'll go to Scott.
What's up, Scottie? At least externally, I think the expectations, for the team this year are, higher. How would you say internally, like how you guys are dealing with that? How do the vibes vary this year from, the past couple of years?
I think the vibes of the team are, we always try to go out there and win. Certain things happen, injuries happen, trades happen, a lot of things happen, which plays a part. But, we're always going to try to go out there and win. Our expectation is to go out there and win every single game. I think our expectations for our team is to definitely make the playoffs and win some games in the playoffs. That's the standard. That's the bottom line. With how talented we are and what we should be able to achieve for this team. We're hungry. We got a lot to prove, and we're going to go out there and show it.
So Ian, and then Eric, and then Vivek.
Scottie, on your right. We've heard about a new format coming this year, potentially for NBA All-Star. I wonder what you think of a potential U.S. versus the world format at All-Star.
I think I used to play with that format on 2K back in the day. It's pretty fun. I think I like that format. It's a pretty cool format. I think it'll have that competitive edge. Bring back that competitive edge. It'll probably make people play harder as well. So I think it's a good format.
So we're going to Eric, and then Vivek, and then Chelsea, and then Michael.
Hey, Scottie, welcome back. Darko was just talking about how the defense starts with you, and you sort of set the tone there. I'm wondering if Brandon's presence frees you up to put even more into that end of the ball. Not that you haven't put everything into it before, but there's only so much energy anybody has. Can you focus even more on that end?
I think I can get motivated at any time when I see someone go up there and guard the ball. Brandon's been in practice, picking up 94 feet, making people turn, being active, getting steals. I think when anybody go up there and get some steals and pressure the ball, it just creates a huge momentum shift to our team on the defensive end, and it just brings us so much juice, so much energy. So he's been doing a great job of being able to get right into it, and we're going to continue to keep pushing him. I'm going to continue to keep pushing him on that defensive end, and that's going to bring that joy out of everybody on our team.
Thanks, Scottie. So Vivek, and then Chelsea, and then Michael.
Hey, Scottie. You were dealing with a bit of a hand issue last season. You mentioned you weren't able to grip the ball the way you'd quite like, or follow through the way you'd quite like. You said you just needed to rest it. Is that all you needed? Are you feeling good about it now? And how are you feeling about your jump shot in general, your three-point shot coming into this season?
I think my shot feels pretty good. I think with that hand injury, it was my pinky. It was both pinkies, actually. I needed some time off. I took a couple weeks off to just let it just rest, and then got back on the court and it just felt so much better. Sometimes it, a little bit doesn't bother me nearly as much as last year, but it feels a lot better where I'm able to, shoot the right way. The ball feels great in my hands, and everything feels great.
So Chelsea, then Michael, and then Liban.
Hey, Scottie, over here. You've been a part of this franchise and in this city now for almost 5 years. How has your relationship with the city of Toronto, the country, and the fans changed? And do you have a message for them going into this season?
I think I'm the only one left from being here from my beginning years, but you know, for the fans that's been very passionate these 4 years going into my 5th year that I've been here, you know, I feel like with this team we got a lot to prove and we're hungry. And, you know, we're going to go out there each and every single night to try to bring that excitement back to Raptors basketball and, you know, make it enjoyable to watch. You know, we're trying to put this league on notice and we're trying to get these things going.
Thank you. Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Scottie. Obviously, Brandon's a giant addition, but Immanuel Quickley didn't get to play all that much last year. He missed a lot of time the year before when the year he came as a trade. And I'm just wondering what you're looking forward to, what you've seen about having him as part of a starting unit on a regular basis.
I think Immanuel, he's been doing so much for our team. You know, getting our transition started, we said we wanted to play faster, kicking the ball ahead, allowing people to create, being able to get off ball some as well, where he's allowing other people to be able to create. You know, he's been in those situations a lot where he has the ball and, you know, he's going to score, but he's looking to play make for others. So I think he's been doing a great job being our point guard, orchestrating things, getting us to play faster, pushing us on both ends. So I think he's one of our leaders on our team, and he shows that every time he steps out on the floor, practice, off the floor, talking, communicating guys, trying to bring guys together as well.
Thanks. And we're going to end with Liban, who's down and to your left.
What's up, Scottie? There was rumors this summer about you potentially playing for the Jamaican national team a few years later down the line. Want to know, obviously, it's been a few years since you played international basketball. Is there interest for you to potentially jump
for
into
sure. We'll see what's going to happen. But I think that's definitely something I've been thinking about pretty hard, something that could potentially happen.
Brandon, welcome to Toronto, I guess sort of officially, but what makes you the most excited about heading into this season, given what you've been through the last year or so?
Getting to play with the guys, learning from Darko, learning from his assistant coaches, and just playing for Canada. It's been a long time since I've been on the basketball floor, so I'm excited just to get out there.
So we'll go to Joseph and then Scott.
Hey, Brandon, over here. From the outside looking in, it kind of seems like this is a fresh start for you in a new place after some time off with the injury too. For you personally, does it feel like that? And what about that excites you? Like, is there a part of your game that you think maybe hasn't got enough attention that you're excited to show off, or your personality? I don't know, something. But what about that fresh start?
I think just being with the energetic guys. When I came here in February, I never noticed how hard the guys played. Like on the defensive end, transferring to the offensive end. I'm just excited to bring my skill level and make things easier for other guys. Playmaking, scoring the basketball, defense, getting steals, going on the other end and just having fun, It do feel like a fresh start. All the new faces, new coaches, learning new things. So hopefully I can show my full game.
Thanks. So we'll go to Scott and then down to Josh.
Great. What's up, Brandon? Now that you're, finally healthy, getting a chance to kind of hang out with the guys, is there anything that surprised you about, the team, the roster that the guys have together right now?
One thing that surprised me is RJ. I thought he was just a gunner. I thought he just shot the ball a lot. But watching this game and seeing him work throughout the summer, I've seen what he works on and how it transfers to the game, and he's steady.
scoring the basketball. On the defensive side, he's aggressive. And he's a guy that doesn't complain about not having a basketball. It kind of attracts to him. And he's been showing me a lot this summer. He's gotten better over the summer.
So Josh and then Doug.
Hey, Brandon, welcome. Back in February, you mentioned that you feel like because of the injury, some people have forgotten about you, forgotten who you are. How does that make you feel? And does that motivate you to come back and prove people wrong and show people, remind people who you are?
I think rather than proving people wrong, it's just proving to myself who I am. You know, stepping into a new role, new teammates, new coaches, having a responsibility of being my best self every day and winning basketball games. I think that's the most exciting part for me. I think when you go try to prove yourself to other people, it never works out. So just trying to be my best self every day and step into the game, having fun.
So Doug, and then Ryan, and then our new friend from the Daily Hive.
Brandon, it's Doug Smith with Toronto Star. It seemed a lot of enthusiasm that you and RJ and Scottie could work together as a threesome. Why do you think so? What have you
Pause
seen?
on that. Now you keep going.
Why do you think it'll work out so well?
I think we're all pretty selfless. You see Scottie on the defensive end and him attacking on the offensive end. Just mentioned RJ being selfless. I think everybody is selfless, and we'll step into a role trying to do whatever it takes to win.
So we're going to Ryan here.
Hey, Brandon. IQ also had kind of an injury-marred year last year. I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about him. What have you seen from him, and how do you think you'll complement Immanuel?
Immanuel?
Yeah.
He's been good over the summer, too. I got a chance to watch him in February when I got here, how he controls the basketball game, getting his teammates involved. He's speaking up in practices and making sure his voice is being heard. So, you know, it's important for him to be a leader on our team. He has the basketball. He's going to get everybody involved, and he's going to score too. So he's an important piece for our team, and he's been really good this summer and leading up to training camp.
So Daily Hive, then to Lindsay, and then to John.
Hey, Brandon. Sam from Offside. It's been about 6 months, give or take, since you've been in Toronto. Just wanted to know what was the most surprising thing you've learned about Toronto, or some of your favorite moments you've had already.
The most impressive thing for me is seeing every seat in the arena filled up, every single game, no matter winning or losing, just seeing everybody there. That's definitely different from New Orleans, having every seat filled and everybody showing love, whether we're down or up. That was very consistent.
So Lindsay, who's down front and to your right here, and then to John, then Samson.
When Darko was here, he said that you brought some guys down to Newport Beach, I believe. Who came out there, and how do you think that kind of benefited your guys' chemistry?
Most of the third year, fourth year players, some of the rookies from last year came out. And it was fun, you know. I just wanted them to kind of get away from the coaches a little bit, come out to where I was, have a chance to work out, have a chance to do some things off the floor and build some chemistry. I think when you bond together off the basketball floor, it makes it a little bit easier to communicate when you get on the basketball floor.
So John, then Samson, then Raheem.
Hey, Brandon. Welcome to Toronto. Darko mentioned that you're 27, you're entering your prime. How do you think you've evolved as a player?
Well, just trying to add new things to my game. Coming into the league, I wasn't able to shoot the three ball at all because I wasn't strong enough to get it to the rim. So I attacked downhill and shot the mid-range shot. I still do the same thing, but just adding the three ball to my game. I think coming here, I know Darko speaks a lot about defense, so he's going to be on me a lot about the defensive end and trying to make my game complete. So just learning each year some things that I can add to my game, some things that I can work on and continue to evolve.
Samson, Raheem, then Will.
Hey, Brandon, just over here. The Raptors were a team that struggled relative to the league to score with the ball in their hands. Obviously bringing you, that's going to fill that hole there. But in terms of speaking with Darko, is there anything new about the Raptors offense that you see as interesting for you to operate in? Is there anything you haven't done in your career before in terms of how they play?
I don't think it's nothing that I've done in my career. I think what's different is a lot of movement in the offensive, on the offensive end. He preaches that, moving without the basketball, cutting to the basket, being ready to shoot, catching shoots. So I think that's going to help my game a lot, going on the floor without thinking, being in the best position to play, make, and score.
Raheem, then Will, then Vivek.
Hey, Brandon, over here. You mentioned that you noticed the arena filled, whether the team was doing well or not. Has it hit you that you're playing not just for a city, but for an entire country in Canada? And how much stock do you take in that, and how much do you appreciate that, and how much are you looking forward to that?
It hasn't hit me yet. I think it will when I step into the arena and see all the fans and get all the love. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, like I said, I haven't stepped on the floor since December 7th. So this is what I live for. This is what I do. All I do is play basketball, watch basketball. So it's going to be exciting to get on the floor and compete for something.
Will, Vivek, and then Ez.
Hey, Brandon. If you can get the ball anywhere on the floor, where would you like the ball? And also, what's like your go-to shot for people who haven't seen your game as much here in Toronto?
I won't give too much, but I'm gonna catch it on the elbow. Well, depending on what we need, but I want to catch it on the elbow and some type of fadeaway.
Go ahead, Vivek.
Hey, Brandon, right here. Obviously, a lot has been made of what you will add to this team as a scorer, but both Bobby and Darko have spoken about how your passing is underrated. Why do you think your passing is underrated, and what do you think Darko's system can do to help bring that up?
I just don't think they expect me to pass the basketball when I got it. But you know, I like to set the table. I like when everybody is involved. When everybody is involved on the offensive end, you get everything on the defensive end from them. They build confidence, and it's easier, like I said, to communicate on the defense and offensive end when everybody feels involved. So it brings a different energy to the team when everybody's sharing the ball and making the correct plays.
And we'll finish up with S. Sorry, Vivek, if you have a follow-up, you need a mic, because otherwise people can't hear you online. Did you ask the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just specifically on what Darko's system can do to bring out your passing.
I guess put me in a good position. I'm a good passer out of pick and roll. I see the floor very well, so when I'm driving to the lane, kick-outs to threes, dropping it down the yak, I just see a lot of passes on the floor.
Thanks. Now we'll finish with S.
Hey, Brendan, right here. You mentioned earlier, and Bobby Webster on Friday mentioned that you're a hooper's hooper, and that some of the joy that he gets is from watching you work and watching your regiment, the way that you practice on a day-to-day basis. Where did you get that from? Where did you develop that over your time? You've had a chance to work with a lot of vets and have good vets around you. How does it feel to be one of the vets on a younger team now?
I think I got it from just being in the gym at an early age. My dad ran a rec gym 5 minutes from my house, and I went there after school every day. I went there on the weekends. I woke him up sometimes at midnight on school days and went back to the gym knowing that he had to be to work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I just loved the game. That was my safe haven in the neighborhood that I was in, and a lot of my friends were there. Even when my friends weren't there, I just wanted to be there. And it's just been everything for me. It helped me feed my family. It brings joy, and it's just fun.
Hi, Jakob. Welcome back. I'm wondering just sort of what you've taken overall from the time that you came back to Toronto to now. How have you felt that the team has developed, and sort of what are your expectations going into this season for the team as a whole?
I mean, I think we've made really great improvements, especially, I mean, I guess you could say, like, starting with the beginning of last year, like, has really been a turning point for us where we've focused in on that style of play that we want to play with, where we're being super aggressive, and we've even added on to that this summer, just being even more aggressive on defense, like trying to get out there, play fast, like disrupt the opponents, and yeah, I think we've done a really good job with that. And then obviously our young guys, particularly like individually, like have improved a lot, and yeah, we're going to count on that in the future.
So we're going to go Ryan, and then John, and then back to Michael.
Right over here, yeah. How you doing? Obviously, you were in the West for a lot, so you got a good look at Brandon. What do you think he's going to bring to the team, and how do you think like he'll complement your game, you'll complement his game?
I mean, just like his individual skill as a scorer, I think is like obviously like the biggest thing that he brings us, like a true 3-level threat. Like you just get him the ball in almost any position, and like he'll make something good happen for you. I think that's what he really brings. But for a guy like that, what's unique about him is how much he's buying into our team style of basketball and like also defensive-minded basketball. So I think that's really cool to see. Seems to like really enjoy himself here so far, and yeah, I know we've had limited time together, like limited practice, but considering all that, we've actually developed some pretty quick chemistry out there. Me personally, and I feel like within that starting unit in general. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to actually testing it against other NBA teams.
So John, who's front row on your left there, yeah.
Hey, Yak, I've got 2 questions for you. The first is a follow on that and what you're just saying about the practicing with the starting 5. What has that been like in the past month, and what's maybe impressed you about that group, especially adding Brandon to the mix?
I mean, I think it's been good. Like it's very unique in a way where, like right now in practice, we're playing against like our own teammates, like young guys who bring a lot of energy, play our style of basketball, which not a lot of other NBA teams do. So I think I'm curious on like how the challenge is going to be once we play against teams that maybe play a little bit slower pace, that play a more traditional, I guess, like style of NBA basketball with individual guys that are going to come at you. So yeah, I can really only speak on what I've seen so far in practice, and I think what's impressed me is that how much everybody is bought into trying to figure out where everybody else likes to play or like wants the ball or like what they're comfortable in. Like nobody so far seems to be going out there trying to like mark their own territory, be like, hey, this is how I want to do it. It's like almost everybody's asking the question like, hey, what do you want to do in this situation? So I think that's been really cool to see, and it speaks to how everybody's bought into trying to figure it out together.
And what are your expectations for the season?
I mean, I think there's been a very clear line for us to just attack this season and try to get back into a winning position. Like we've talked about this like development plan, and we knew it was going to be some down phases, but we also knew that we didn't want to be stuck in like a rebuilding phase for a long time. We wanted to do what's necessary, but then be a winning team again as soon as possible. And I think like the communication between us players and also with like coaches and front office has been very clear that everybody seems to be dialed in on like we want to win this now. So yeah, for us to be a winning team, we got to get back to the playoffs. I think that's like the obvious first step. We got to have one of those young team breakout years where we might surprise some other teams. And I think we have it in us, but we just got to show it on the court.
So we'll do Michael, who's down front and to your right, and then we'll do Tony, who's way at the back. Abby.
Jakob, I mean, you've had some reps with Immanuel, but he was out of the lineup a lot last year and, came over halfway through the year before. So how significant will it be for you guys to get 65, 70, 75 games from, kind of the most seasoned point guard on your team?
I mean, it'll be very important, yeah. And I think specifically our point guard, yeah, because he's like the guy that like leads our offense. Like he's the one that like has the ball in his hands naturally the most of the time. Even though we play a very team style of basketball, we need him out there to all like him getting used to how our offense is supposed to run, and the opposite way around as well. Us getting used to the way he plays, which I honestly think I have a pretty good natural feel for how he plays, and like our two-man game at least like has been pretty good. I felt at least really natural right from the beginning, so I'm not too worried about that. But obviously, like every minute out there counts. Like every minute we can spend out there together like adds a little extra bit of chemistry where like maybe a specific situation that we haven't seen before like comes up. So yeah, I think not just Quick, but everybody on the team. Like it would be great if we could just go through a season without major injuries, obviously. But specifically for us, when we're in this like developmental stage where we're really trying to grow together, we want to have all our pieces available.
So Tony, then Vivek, and then Eric up front.
Hi, Jakob. Yeah, this is going to be the third season of Darko in Toronto, and you are here since he took over as a coach. How much he has changed as a coach compared to his first year? Thank you.
I don't think he's changed that much, to be honest. He's kind of brought that fire, energy, and like passion right from the jump, and he's still doing that today. I think maybe like the coaches' like mindset in their game plan also has changed a little bit. It's also a different situation where early on we still had some veteran guys on the team, like a kind of the team that was trying to figure out, to where now we're like here with a young team that's on a clear path. And I think he's just trying to get the most out of everybody, like really trying to dial in that style of play and like getting everybody to give us 100% every night. And I think that's what's going to be necessary for us to be a good team. So yeah, I think that's probably the one thing I noticed the most.
So Vivek, then Eric, then Will, then Samson.
Hey, Jakob, just over here. I'm just wondering what your early impressions are of Brandon Ingram as a defender and what key elements you think he's going to add on that side of the ball.
Like I said, it's tough to say from a short or like a small sample size. I think what's really impressed me is, like I said, how much he's bought into it. For a guy that's maybe traditionally not somebody that's been asked to guard a lot of guys, maybe just like ask more of a spot-up shooter, guard more of a spot-up shooter out there or anything. Like he's really dialed into like our pressing, like being aggressive style of play. And I think his greatest skill on defense is honestly like he's good at anticipating where the ball is going and like using his length and stuff to be disruptive. I don't know if that's something he's done a lot in his career, but I think he actually has like the natural build and like instincts for it. So if he can tap into that, like, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it goes against other teams, because I don't know, we're almost so used to it by now, by having that pressure put on us. It'll be cool to see how other teams react to that.
Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Jakob. Welcome back. I was wondering what went into the decision to extend, and also as you enter your 30s, what skills or traits do you think are most important to either retain, refine, or even add as you approach your 30s?
I mean, there's obviously like me signing or extending here in Toronto, like there's a lot of different things that are going into that kind of decision. I think the main things at the end of the day were The fact that I was comfortable in Toronto. I enjoyed living here. I enjoyed like my relationship with the team and the fans and all that stuff. And that the project was interesting to me. Like the team, like the way we were going, like it seemed like we put in a lot of hard work for us to now hopefully see some of these this hard work pay off for us. So I think since I've been part of this like new Raptors process from the beginning, I really wanted to see how far we can take this team, and I think those two were probably like the main decisions. And as far as like my development, I don't think being 30 or like getting older really changes too much in my mindset there. Like I've always kind of had this approach of like just trying to get a little bit better every year. There's not really one thing I'm targeting that I want to get great at. Like if there's obvious weaknesses, then I'm going to address them. But in general, like I'm just trying to like get better what I already do, and then like add little things like on top of everything, like so just like improve the overall product, I guess, slowly but surely. And I'm going to continue doing that even like into my 30s.
And last one is Samson. Go ahead, Samson.
Hey, Yak, a little bit more specific. As you mentioned, the team, everyone kind of sacrificing to put another guy in a good spot. More specifically, you guys were so high in the league in elbow touches. You're obviously a big part of that. You did it in San Antonio, you did it here. Obviously with Scottie and Brandon, you're probably going to be placed elsewhere at some points in time. How do you feel about going into this season and kind of occupying a different space than you have in different seasons?
I'm curious, honestly, like how all that's gonna pan out. Like I don't think our spacing is gonna change that much in our offense in general. Like obviously there's gonna be sets where I find myself in different positions. And maybe particularly a guy like Brandon who likes to operate in like mid-range elbow area, like we're going to try to get him the ball there a bunch of times. But really when I get the ball in the elbow area, it's probably a different style of play, like more of a like connecting mindset, whereas Brandon, like we're trying to get him isolation situations. So I'm going to try to continue to improve on that. But what was the second part?
How do you feel about, like you might be in the dunker spot more often, you might be more of a finisher rather than setting screens and catching at the elbow. Like how do you feel about that aspect of your game?
I mean, that's fine, honestly. Like me being in the elbow area was like an adjustment that team needed at the time, and what that kind of made sense for the team's purpose. And I've played in pick and roll situations, I've played in dunkers, I've played from like top of the key as a connector, like there's so many different situations. I don't think like where you put me is really like that big a difference maker. It's just how I can find my impact there. I think being in a dunker spot is a fairly natural position for me, so I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Two more for you, Yak. First one from Will. Go ahead, Will.
Hey, Yak. Last season, the Raptors, I think first 40 games were like third from the bottom on defense, and then the last 40 games, you guys were like the third best team on defense. I'm wondering, when you reflect on that, what was the turnaround to, the team getting so much better on defense, and how confident are you that you guys can sustain what you guys did in the second half of last season going into this year?
I think we tried to learn a new way of playing defense, try to like be ultra aggressive, which a lot of guys like weren't used to, like maybe in a way where like if only one guy out there is being ultra aggressive, then he might get beat, and we're actually almost looking worse than we would have been if we just played a little bit more solid. But trying to get that instilled into everybody so that everybody does it at the same time, and then we can be really disruptive even when a guy gets beat, that the guys behind him are that much more aggressive as well, to where we can make up for some mistakes with just sheer effort. And then the positive side of that, like just being so disruptive to other offenses that they can't really feel comfortable in how they want to play, like just us setting the tone on how the game is going to go. So I think just learning that takes time. So I think that's why it looked better towards the end of the season than it maybe did in the beginning. And really everybody buying into it and getting used to that, and just like doing it on every possession, I think is also something that has improved. And Yeah, I think naturally it's only going to become better and better, hopefully. Like the NBA is like constantly evolving, so there might be situations where teams start getting used to that and then we're going to have to adapt again. But for now, I think we've played a very unique style of defense that's going to help us be effective on that end of the court.
Thank you. And last question to Gilbert, please.
Hey, Jack, with the addition of Sandro, can you talk about the skill set that you see in him and how he's going to help you improve the center position?
Say the last part again?
The center position, how he's going to help you improve on the center position, Sandro?
How I can help him improve, or? That's a good question. Honestly, we have different styles of play. Like he's more of like an undersized, stretch the floor. Like he makes good decisions out there. Like he's in a different way, like similar to how Kelly Olynyk and I had just different play styles that gives us different options out there on the court. I think he does it in a maybe a little bit more dynamic way. Yeah, I've constantly, like over these past couple of weeks, had conversations with him about not just improving him as an individual player, because I think he's a great player, but also how his play style fits into our offense or our defense, like whatever it may be. How he should approach, or like help him with my experience within this system, how like he can put himself into better positions, like really improve out there. But yeah, I think he gives us a really good look. Like I said, some variety out there, and yeah, I'm hoping he's going to turn out well for us.
What's up, RJ?
What's going on?
So I was talking to Brandon earlier, and he mentioned that of all the guys that he worked with on the team over the summer, he was most surprised by you. You know, he saw you as a bit of a gunner heading in, but he learned that you know, have a great all-around game. You know, you worked a lot over the off-season. I'm curious just to get your reaction to that, but also, you know, what you've been working on this off-season.
See, I pass the ball. I do. But no, it's been cool, especially just, you know, one, working with B.I. He's also, I would say he drives to the rim better than I thought that he did. You know, I've seen him make a lot of jump shots. So like being able to kind of work with him and stuff, he gets to the rim actually pretty effortlessly. So that was something I learned about him. And you know, I think that I had a cool summer of just working hard, being in the gym, and yeah, I was just happy about my summer, and you know, you guys will see once we get out on the court. What's up, Mike? How you doing? You good?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, brother?
So Daily Hive, then to Will.
Hey, RJ. Sam from Offside. So with the Blue Jays coming in and they're making it to the playoffs, the city's been having a type of hype and vibe that they haven't seen in a while. How does that, seeing that passion from fans, fuel you as you head into the season?
Yeah, man, a couple months from now, it's going to be us, you know, that's the mindset. So definitely, obviously happy for them, cheering for them, for sure. And then here, you know, we're trying to get back to the playoffs as well, trying to get back to the playoffs, make some noise. You know, we're all about winning over here.
Yeah, RJ.
Will, then Doug, then Josh.
I got two questions for you. Number one, I remember at the end of the last season, you said you were really, really tired. You're looking forward to a break. So how was the summer for you? Do you feel refreshed first off?
I was tired. I was. I feel refreshed for sure. Got to relax and got to be in the gym a lot. Got to get better. Because I think sometimes when you're playing, like, you know, kind of year round, you got to try to balance like rest and like your workouts are a little different when you know, have to play games in the summer and stuff. So this summer I was really just able to really focus on, you know, getting my mind and my body right. And yeah, I was thankful for it, but you know, I'm kind of itching to get back now.
Yeah. And the second question was, are there any misconceptions about your game that you're looking to clear up in terms of proving? I mean, you just make the joke about the passing there too, but even on the defensive end, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really know. I've never been a horrible defender, so yeah, I kind of was confused on that, but I definitely have gotten better and want to continue to get better on that defensive end, really be a complete two-way, player. I think that's my calling card, and I'm very happy to accept and embrace that. So just got to continue to work hard, study film, study, the opponents. Just make sure you do everything to make sure that you can have that edge going in every single night.
Doug, Josh, as Ian.
RJ, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you. So, in a short answer, why will you, Scottie, and Brandon work together?
We're all unselfish players, and we're trying to win. 'Cause that's really what it is. If you're trying to win, you'll do the right things.
What's up, RJ? How's it
How you
going?
doing? Good.
Scottie was in here earlier, and one of the things he said was that you guys as a team have a lot to prove this year. Do you sense that kind of chip on your shoulder mentality, both like individually and collectively as a team? And how do you think that can help bring out the best in you guys this year?
Absolutely. Definitely a huge chip on our shoulder. And I love it. I think just from being in the league and kind of being in this spot before, this is one of the most fun times is when you have a team like this where people kind of don't know what to expect or don't expect much, and you kind of just go and just surprise everybody. And we put in the work, so we're very confident going in.
As Ian, Vivek, and then John.
RJ, how you doing? Over the last, over your entire career, you've had a chance to play different roles in New York and in Toronto. What do you think this season brings for you in terms of a different role? How does that look compared to other seasons that you've had?
Well, it's no secret. You add Brandon Ingram into the mix, it changes things. We're not gonna hide from that. What I would say is, for myself, you've seen it across, from the time I was in high school into college to the NBA. I've always played with, good players. So I think the thing about myself is I'm able to adapt, and I just want to win. So however it shapes out for us, the goal is winning, and that's what's important. I don't really honestly worry about myself too much. I think it's a gift that I've been blessed with that, kind of doesn't really matter who's out there. I find a way to affect the game in different ways.
Ian, Vivek, John, Michael.
RJ, hey, on your right over here. Just curious what you think of the idea of a U.S. versus the world all-star format and how that might play out.
They do stuff like that. There's a Nike Hoop Summit game in high school. I played in that, whereas that's the format. It's fun. That's where I met guys like Isaiah Hartenstein and stuff like that. So it's cool. I think that's been a format that I can say that I've kind of played in something like that before, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. So if the NBA decides to kind of go about it that way, that's going to be something that's cool. And to be honest, I don't really care what the format is as long as I'm in the game.
Thanks. Vivek, then John, and then Michael.
RJ, right over here. When Bobby spoke on Friday, he said that there's been conversations with you about efficiency. When you came over after the trade, you were extremely efficient. Last year, you were tasked with a lot of offensive responsibility. I'm just wondering what the keys are for you being as efficient as maybe when we first saw you come over after the trade, and how much Brandon maybe can help with that.
Well, yeah. One, I think BI being involved is just another, deadly weapon for us. Something the defense has to focus on. He's going to get me more open shots. Everybody, I'm going to get him more open shots. So I think that's going to do well for our efficiency. Correct me if I'm wrong. I shot 47% or something like that. It's not bad. It's not bad. It could be a lot worse. So yeah, but no, definitely being the most efficient we can, everybody individually and as a whole team, will definitely BI's going to help with that, I think.
John, Michael, Chelsea.
Hey, RJ. I've got 2 questions for you. The first is we've heard that the starting 5 has been trying to practice as much as they can together in September. What's that been like, not just the addition of Brandon, but also you're all healthy?
Get a lot of dubs. This is what's been happening. Well, no, we're really enjoying just this time of kind of getting to work together. Like you said, injuries were kind of a big thing for us last year. There was times where even like our starting lineup from last year didn't even play together, or played like 5 games together or something like that, or had no minutes together at a certain point. So just being able to kind of work together now from early and go into the season with figuring some stuff out just puts us in a better position to be successful.
And my second question is, what are your expectations for this season?
Expectations, straight up, honestly, like I said, we're here to win. So we're not shying away from that. We're trying to get to the playoffs. We're trying to, win a championship. Like we're not shying away from that. We come here to play defense, play together, and win games.
RJ, I mean, you're one of the few guys on this team now that you're year 7, I think. Is that right? Who's been in the playoffs, who's been on teams that have won playoff series. Everyone's optimistic this time of year. What do you when you look at this team that makes you believe you could kind of get to that level?
Yeah, absolutely. I think having known that feeling before, when I walk into this gym and I see the team that we have, I'm like, okay, we have a squad here. And we're going about it the right way. And I think that's what will pay off. Of course, there's going to be, bumps. There's going to be, ups and downs in the season. We still, even the starting 5, we still have not played a game together yet. So there's going to be things, but just the way that we go about working out, the way that we go about the weight room, the way we go about just everything, our mindset of playing defense and moving the ball, sharing the ball, things like that. When you approach the game that way, good things will happen.
So we'll go Chelsea, Samson, and then is it Marshall at the back? Yeah.
Hey, RJ over here. We love to ask guys when they come here, about Toronto, but obviously this is home for you, so it's a kind of different situation. My first part of the question is, do you kind of take on the leadership of when new guys come to this team to kind of be the ambassador for this city? And part 2 would be, how does being at home affect your mental game in the middle of a season?
Oh, yeah, no, it keeps my mental good. I'm 25 minutes away. I'm definitely, happy about that. And, I say when guys come here, I think our organization does a very good job of helping. Even when I got here, I'm from here, and they helped me out tremendously. So I think just the organization as a whole is very good with people coming here, transitioning, kind of helping people out, taking us around, showing us where to go, what to do, different things, different events. So I think, the organization more so, I say, does a really good job of that. And
just to follow up, do you feel like a sense of pride when guys come here and they end up really loving their experience in Toronto?
I know they're going to love the experience. How could you not love this place, so what if it gets a little cold sometimes? It's a great place.
So Samson, Marshall, and then Joseph.
Hey, RJ, just right here again. 2 questions. The first being that Bobby, at his availability the other day, talked about getting you more attacking second side stuff. Brandon talked about how you don't even necessarily need the ball, you attract the ball. Last year, I guess it was training camp, we were talking with Quickley, and he said, how good you are at cutting because you want to score. How do you feel about being positioned as a finisher in this lineup and the attention that goes to a guy like Brandon or Scottie, that a lot of it's going to come down to you and finishing plays? How do you look forward to that this season?
Trying to contain my excitement. Like I said earlier, BI being involved is another guy that can make plays It makes it just easier on the whole team. So now when you have, multiple, good playmakers out there, everybody eats, and that takes a little bit of pressure off of, me, Scottie, and Quick. And so now I'm also going to be in a role a lot of times with be on the court with Scottie and Quick on the court where I'm the one getting open shots. I'm not complaining about getting open shots. I'm not complaining about that at all.
And the second question, even like with fans, you said you've never been a horrible defender, and yet that persists. Brandon saying that you were different than he thought. Even you saying that Brandon gets to the rim easier than you thought. Where do you think these misconceptions come from? Not just from how fans see you guys, but how you guys see each other.
Fans, I will say, not specifically you guys, but you guys, and as well as sometimes even like everybody has a scout before the game. Sometimes certain players, just be like, well, don't let him go left. Every time he goes left, he's not trying to pass the ball. So now that's just what players are thinking. I'm 100% sure somebody has said that about me on a scout before. So if that's what you're hearing, then, that kind of builds up in your head,
So we'll go to Marshall at the very back, and then Joseph.
Hi, RJ. What's going on over here? So with the team getting healthier, your role might change next season. And with all the rumors going on, how do you stay so focused and ready with all of this?
I think I stay focused and ready by I'm not just a one-dimensional player. I can kind of do a little bit of everything. So I think that's one of my superpowers. Kind of talking about Bobby was saying, getting either like attacking and finishing and stuff like that, like just different things. My game's going to be a little more different than it was last year, but I think that I'm very excited for this year and that challenge just to grow to be more complete and be a two-way player, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, Joseph, and then we're going to go to our friends Patrick and Mike in French.
Hey, RJ, when you mentioned being excited, like walking in here today and saying, like looking at the squad, like we got a squad, you also said, and we do it the right way. And I was just curious what you meant by that, like what doing it the right way for this team is.
We don't have egos over here. Everybody wants to win, and that's coming from me, who's probably one of the most confident guys you've ever met in your life. We have players that are here with a good mindset of coming into to help the team win, and it's not just about any single individual player. I think that's what you need. So that way we can have conversations with each other. We can talk to each other like, yo, you're messing up right there, and it's no hard feelings, We need that commitment to team excellence. Passing the ball is a huge thing. When I've been on teams where the ball doesn't move and then nothing happens after that. Nobody cares. And now everybody's just every man for themselves. So it's great to be on a team where, we move the ball and we play defense and we care about each other, honestly. We're all friends, we all hang out, everything's cool. Things are just the way the Raptors do things is the right way. And I think that's why, we'll have some success.
Okay, go for it, Patrick.
Oui, bonjour RJ. Ça fait longtemps que tu as l'été sans être impliqué dans l'équipe du Canada.
Ouais.
Est-ce que avoir le temps de travailler sur son jeu, est-ce qu'il y a un aspect particulier que tu as décidé de travailler sur ton jeu?
Ouais.
Et la deuxième question, c'est par rapport à la présence de Brandon Ingram. Qu'est-ce que ça change dans ton jeu de tous les jours?
Dans l'été, j'ai resté beaucoup. Alors ça c'était bien. Et puis je travaille sur le basket beaucoup, mais je travaille sur tout. C'est pas une chose que je travaille. Alors ça c'est bien. Et BI, il va être très bien pour nous. Je suis très content. Ouais.
Go ahead, Mike.
Salut RJ. Ma question c'est, depuis que tu es arrivé à Toronto, les 2 saisons n'ont pas été très compétitives. À quel point tu es excité cette année de enfin avoir une équipe compétitive pour aller jouer les playoffs comme tu l'as dit?
Ouais, très excité pour ça. Tu sais, on veut gagner, on doit gagner. Ça, je suis ici pour gagner les matchs, pour aller aux playoffs. Alors, ouais, on est tous très excités pour cette année.
Hey, Emmanuel, welcome back. How do you move on from a season like last year? Must have been tough, missing so many games. Like, how do you move on from that and get right for this year? And just how excited are you for kind of like a new slate?
I'm very excited. Anytime you get a chance to go back to the summer, go back to the drawing board, look where you can be better. Obviously missed a lot of games, injuries, stuff like that. But anytime you can go back, like I said, and just work from the foundation, see where you need to get better and see where you can improve. I'm always excited for that part of basketball.
Thanks so much. We'll go to Adam next, and then to John.
Hey, Emmanuel. I'm wondering, just from a personal standpoint, how do you see yourself in terms of, just measuring up against other players in the NBA, and sort of what are your goals? Do you have, goals to be an all-star? Do you have goals to be, anything more than that? And sort of what are you looking to show yourself this season?
That's a great question. Anytime I'm on the floor, I look to be the best. I look to dominate every night that I'm on the floor, whether that's scoring, passing, defending. I feel like I'm very versatile in that way. I can lead a game with defense, lead a game with leadership, lead a game with scoring, passing, creativity. So in that aspect and individual goals, I want to be the best, all-star, whatever, but all that comes with, trying to win. I feel like the way that you get individual stuff is your team winning, and so we got to have that mindset.
John, then Doug, and then Sean.
Hey, Emmanuel, welcome back. I've got two questions for you. The first is, we've heard that the starting five have been practicing together as much as they can this past month. What's that been like for you as the point guard, and also because you did miss some time last year?
It's been great. I think a lot of us didn't really get to play together. Well, obviously B.I. wasn't with us, but a lot of us didn't get to play together on the floor, real meaningful minutes. So it was good to be able to just, play a lot with them. And then as a point guard, honestly, just as a basketball player, being able to see what works, what maybe we got to talk about on the floor, how I fit in offensively, defensively. Obviously we have a lot of scoring talent on this team, so how I can kind of, make everybody kind of mesh together, what style we play best. I think playing fast is going to be big for us this year, so unselfishness is going to be big for us this year. I think that, those are some of the things that, I've learned so far.
My second question is, we know you love reading. Reading,
yeah.
What were some of your favorite books that you read this summer?
My favorite book is always the Bible. Always got to stay locked in on that. And then I read Don't Believe Everything You Think. I'm still on that right now. That's been a good book for me. I think a lot of people should read that.
Doug, Sean, and then Vivek.
Hey, Emmanuel, to Doug to your left. Everybody's sort of intrigued by the combinations of RJ, Scottie, and Brandon. When you've seen them on the court in this last month, what jumps out to you, and what that would be confident in that they will succeed?
I think obviously everybody sees the offensive talent, but I think defensively is where we can really be good, really be scary. You got 3, 6, 7 to 6, 9 guys that can switch, guard 1 through 4. Scottie probably can guard 5. And I think that's something that a lot of teams don't have at that 2 through 4 position, being that's kind of where the NBA is going anyway, guys that can play on, off the ball, guard 1, 2, and 3, 4, being able to switch. So I think that's something that, our team, especially those 3 guys, can benefit from.
Sean, Vivek, then Michael.
Hey, IQ. I wanted to ask, where do you feel like your game sits right now in terms of the ins and outs of playing point guard of the position? Obviously last year was supposed to be your first one with the keys to the offense. Didn't quite work out that way all year, but in terms of just the point guard stuff, is there anyone you're drawing inspiration from around the league? How do you feel about that part of your game as you come into this year?
I think my game is unique, man. Everybody talks about point guard. Obviously, I have the ball in my hands a lot, but and I have the capability of having the ball in my hands down the stretch throughout the game. But just understanding, and I've learned this from being in the NBA, I've learned this from playing with other great players at the University of Kentucky, is that you can affect the game in other ways than just scoring. You can kind of be able to play off the ball sometimes, and I feel like that's where my strength is in my versatility, my basketball IQ, and just being able to play off other players. I feel like that's something that I've been able to, and now in year 6, I've been able to see what keeps you in the league, how you can excel in the league, and I think that's one of the things that I've learned being in the NBA, being a point guard, things like that.
Hey, Immanuel.
Sorry, do you have a follow-up, Vivek? Is it you now? Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, Immanuel. Just wanted to ask you about a couple of things that you set as goals at the end of last season. You said you wanted to be able to take more threes and also get stronger. I was wondering how much stronger you're feeling right now, and also averaging 7 threes a game as a Raptor. Do you have like?
I only took 7 a game?
Yeah. Do you have a specific goal in terms of how many you want to take this season?
I think with our team, especially like the type of attention that guys like RJ, Scottie, BI are going to get, I think I can get 10, and I think a lot of them will probably be more catch and shoot, probably more than the last 2 years. This past 2 years, a lot of them been off the dribble, but I think more of them will probably be catch and shoot, on the move. And then to your point about getting stronger, spent a lot of time on the track this summer, so I've been trying to up the condition a little bit. And then every season I look to get stronger every summer, and I always take that part of my game serious. Even though I look a little skinny, I feel like I'm a little strong. So.
Michael, then Eric, then Samson.
Hey, IQ, down front. Do you feel like you've been slept on a little bit coming into the season, having missed so much time last year, and then Raptors obviously, the first year you were here in New York or in Toronto was kind of a write-off just for where the team was headed. Do you feel people maybe forgot a little bit why you got the deal you did and how excited people were when you got traded here?
Yeah, I'm always excited because I always play with that chip on my shoulder. I love when people doubt me. I look forward to it. It's always an opportunity when people, look past you or don't think you can do something. It's always an opportunity to prove them wrong, but also prove yourself right. I know how much I put into the game. I don't skip steps. I take everything serious. And I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be a great year.
Hey, IQ, welcome back. At the beginning, you listed 9, 10 things that you can do on the floor, and obviously you're going to need to do all those things at different points. But for this team specifically, what do you think are the 1 or 2 things that you specifically really need to bring to make sure this team can reach its potential?
2, 3 things. I think the main thing is leadership. I'm going to have to bring that vocal leadership to this team. I feel like obviously guys can lead in different examples by their work, but I think this team, we have to be collectively, vocally, like talking to each other. It's better for someone to say the wrong thing than for anybody to say nothing at all. We're very talented, but we're going to have to find that toughness of talking to each other, talking on the floor. So that leadership part, I think on the court, obviously the shooting. This team is very good offensively, get into the rack, mid-ranges, and I have to bring that outside threat for us for sure. Having gravity on offense to where defenses have to put 2 guys on me, I can get other guys open. And then I think those are the main 2 things. And then obviously I think defense is going to be big for me this year as well, trying to set that tone and trying to help my teammates also have that tone of having a defense mindset first.
Samson and then Will.
Yeah, IQ, just over here. You mentioned the defense. You mentioned hitting the track a lot. The team is obviously going to ask you to put a lot of pressure, if not 94 feet, 90, 58, something like that. How do you feel about how you're equipped to do that over a really long season? And secondly, in regards to you mentioning your catch and shoot numbers going up, last year you had to spend a lot of time floating in case there was a reset in the offense. How do you envision your role changing in terms of how you spend your time off ball as opposed to last season?
I'd probably say, sorry, one more time. The first part of the question was to...
Ball pressure.
Ball pressure, yeah. I think the ball pressure, I'm still learning it. Darko and the coaches are on me all the time because this is probably not only new for me, but probably new for everybody. NBA is usually everybody thinks we don't play hard or whatever, but that's like the stigma around the NBA. But that, like I said, been on the track, been played all summer, so just trying to up the conditioning and just trying to be in tip-top shape. And then your second question was about?
So floating in case the offense had to reset to you, whereas now there's a few more cooks in the kitchen, where you're spending your time off ball and how you're being utilized.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I feel like one of my strengths is my versatility. When I'm training in the off season, obviously I'm training to like make reads and be a point guard or whatever, but most of it is training to put the ball in the basket. So I learned how to do that in different ways, on the ball, off the ball. The guys that I've played with, that I've been in the league, I've played with some of the best players in the NBA that I've been in the league now for 6 years. So just learning how to play off them, play with them, be aggressive at the same time, while also trying to, just trying to make it mesh. So I think that's something that I've learned to be really well with.
Last question to Will.
Hey, IQ. I wanted to know what you've seen out of the young guys. They seem to be really close. They've been playing a lot as a unit. And I'm assuming if you guys have been practicing together as a starter unit, how those battles between the starters and the bench have gone. Like, who's won those matchups?
It's been great. I feel like we've probably got the best out of them a little bit, but they don't back down at all. I feel like that's where they're going to be great at, and I'm sure a lot of our starting guys will play with guys that are coming off the bench. But we're going to need everybody, and I feel like that's what the strength of our team is definitely our whole team. And I think that the guys coming in will bring great energy, bring great toughness, defense, and to the point of 94 feet, I'm going to need a lot of those guys to help me out with that for sure, Jamal and Jacoby and all them guys. So it'll be great.